He's a two-time state champ. Has either placed or won every national event that he ever went to. You need more intensity. It's not just what you do, but also how you do it. Even Olympic athletes have coaches that push them hard. But the hard part there is I'm not a coach. I'm a father who's trying to push them hard.
Right to turn. That's not right to turn. You hesitated. Let's go. You hesitated. Let's go. Drill.
He would take me out of the house for like 2 weeks.
I put him out in the backyard, give him, 6, 7 cans of tuna, a fork, a can opener, point to the hose, and just
say that I wasn't allowed in the house, and I'd had to sleep in the backyard.
Hey, when he gets in the Army, you're going to be sleeping outside, sleeping on the ground. Learn to get used to it now.
He moved me to a different state, and I lived in an apartment.
It was pretty close to a welfare apartment, but we stuck him in a very inexpensive 2-room apartment by himself, 3 hours away, 3 states away.
I didn't enjoy that.
He was an honor roll student that year.
I missed home.
He had an undefeated season going into the conference championships.
There was no one there that I knew.
So he had an outstanding year all by himself.
It was just a difficult thing for me to do.
I was only a phone call away. Now, why did we do that? 2 reasons. First, obviously, there was a wrestling reason.
Intense, go! Intense!
Another reason we did it was to develop him for the next step, which was to send him to Belarus.
If you go, make sure you're ready to go. Because when you're going to go hard.
My dad sent me to Russia when I was 14.
It was kind of scary for me as a parent, but I did it. I can still remember right out in front of the terminal at JFK, Pat turned around to me and he said, "Don't do this to me." And I just turned him around physically and pushed him through the doors.
So I was in Russia for 6 months.
He survived.
I lived with a different family.
The parents would sleep on a fold-out couch in the living room. The bedroom belonged to their daughter. So when Pat moved in with them, everything switched. The mother and the daughter slept on the fold-out couch in the living room, and Pat slept in the bedroom with the wrestling coach. It forced him to view a different culture.
It's quite different there.
I was very impressed.
It was difficult for me to communicate with people.
We just thought if we're going to take him out of school, let's send him somewhere where it can help his wrestling, but also put him in a totally different environment and force him to survive, force him to adapt, force him to improvise. And that's exactly what he did.
I didn't enjoy it over there. I didn't like Russia.
I know it was a hard time for him, but I also know that it developed a certain level of mental toughness in him. A mental toughness that you can't gain on the wrestling mat.
You understand? Yeah, you don't like hearing it.
Because you don't
No,
know what I'm talking about. Please
Pat,
just leave.
listen to me. I know what I'm talking about.
I don't swim for a week, and then I swim
So
for 3
what?
months. I
Deal
go
with
back,
it.
do 3 days, leave for a week.
Deal with it.
I'm supposed to raise him the way I want him to go out into the world.
Adjust your thought pattern.
He was in Special Forces. He went to West Point, and I think that's one of the things that has shaped him.
And I want him to go out into the world as an independent young man capable of taking care of himself without having to fall back on his mother or father for financial or emotional support. I've raised him to fulfill that obligation, to have that level of mental toughness, to be able to make it through the elite units in the Army. And I expect Pat to man up and do that. He doesn't, it's not like I'm going to disown my son. I'll still be my son, I'll still love him. We'll still have Christmas dinner together every year, all that type of stuff. Will there be a little bit where I won't respect him? Yeah, you're right, I won't. He lives in this country, he benefits from this country, he should give back to this country.
I mean, I know he wants me to join the Army.
Look, it's a hard thing telling a kid, to go in the military when we're at war. I mean, I could lose him. I hate to see young American soldiers dying on the streets of Baghdad, but I know that that's a 21-year-old who had a rifle in his hand who had the ability to fight back, and that's why they're there. Because we don't have people blowing up women and children in the streets of New York. I mean, our family lost someone in the World Trade Center. A young girl. I mean, the soldier's the last person that wants the country to be at war, because the soldier's the one who feels the pain of war. I understand all that. We need young men that are willing to do this, so that those that are not willing to do it don't have to. And that includes my son. All this has been about preparing him to do that. I mean, just look at the 20th century. It's going to happen, and it's going to happen again. And I know right now he hasn't made his final decision, but at least he knows what I expect him to do.
I'm only a sophomore in high school. I'm not really sure what I want to do.